No hay que mantener la conversación fluyendo. Me rozas el corazón con tu silenciosa dulzura, convertido en un filósofo. Y lo tuyo y lo mío está muy bien. Llévame a caminar, dirígeme a tu corazón. Me da cosita cuando me miras, te necesito. Me encanta hasta cuando respiras, así de simple, yeah, yeah. Tu seguridad llena los huecos de mi alma. Y eso crea una dependencia en mí, no del todo bien, a menos que dependas de mí también. Di que quieres estar conmigo, no solo como amigos. Creí que había amado, pero sabe que enfocado. Mira lo que haces, yeah, yeah, yeah. Me da cosita cuando me miras, te necesito, yeah, yeah, yeah. Me encanta hasta cuando respiras, así de simple, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Casanova, welcome.
How's it going?
Such a pleasure.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no. I think that it's something that needed to happen eventually.
Okay.
We're gonna do the session. We have some questions for you, but there's a few ones that I put together that I would like to talk to you about, and I'd like to introduce you as a musician for them to kind of see. I mean, you've been making music for a while. I've been knowing you for a while, and I think that your style is very inspiring. Your style is very unique, and I've seen you evolve throughout the years. And I think that it's been a process where you had to kind of keep on evolving. I hear your music and I see the new productions that you're doing, and the way that you're working with people remotely, etc. And I think that the overall product of what's being achieved is amazing. So you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're a producer. How do you present yourself when you're doing a show?
Okay, so yeah, basically I started out as a singer-songwriter. I met Rodolfo back in Mexico City, and yeah, basically that's how I started. I never had in mind that I would start working in music production, but it kind of just happened. But yeah, I guess most people know me through my phase as a singer-songwriter, but I've been working for the last 3 or 4 years as a music producer. I'm currently based in Honduras, in a small city called Tegucigalpa. So yeah, so I've been working a lot with the local scene, and it's been pretty entertaining because I actually studied I'm not songwriting, but musical composition. But I've had to study different stuff like mixing, mastering, recording, arrangements and stuff. So that was kind of new for me, but it's been pretty exciting, and it's a new phase for me, you know. But yeah, I guess I think people know me more as a singer-songwriter. it's kind of a soul. I mean, I dig like R&B, soul, funk, jazz. So it's kind of a whole mix between those types of genres and pop. I could say, yeah.
Very, very interesting. We have many people here. Most people come to us because they're eventually trying to become songwriters,
Okay.
and the process is obviously there's the crafting process. You need to write a lot and stuff, and you need to create your own style. You need to listen to a lot of music. What would be your process for songwriting? How do you come up with a song?
Okay, so I wouldn't say I have uh like a really rigid kind of process. Sometimes I'm just like walking on the street and maybe I have an idea like a hook, you know. So I sing it, I record it in my cell phone, and then I come home to the studio. Maybe I just start like putting on some loops and working on some grooves on splice or something like that. So it's not like it's not like I always do the lyrics or the song first. Sometimes I start putting on some harmonies, you know, and I start working on top of that. So it's not like I have this kind of system. It's kind of chaotic, I would say, but it works for me. I don't know if that's the right way to work it, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. How important do you think it's music theory for? Because your music is very advanced in general. Because I what I like about your music is that it's very digestible. Like anybody can hear it, anybody can enjoy it, but at the same time, the harmonies are very intense. And I think that you are making the type of music that's very intelligent, and it's on the delivery. Like when I listen to your music, I just feel that not only the production has a lot of elements, but the melodies and the harmonies are very well thought of.
Okay, so I think music theory is a really good skill. I think it's something that obviously will help you along the way. When I started making music, I didn't know much about music theory, harmony, or anything of that. But like I already had like this kind of inclination. I really loved like really complex chords. You know, it was something that I think just I naturally really like it. Obviously, when I went to study to Mexico, I think I acquired certain skills and knowledge that would help me develop this skill. So yeah, I think it's definitely important, and I think some people say they don't like it because it takes away the surprise, and I get that feeling because that's what happens to me sometimes. Like I'm working on a song, but since I know the theory, like I don't surprise myself anymore. So that kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's like you gotta find like this intermediate, you know, like you have like have your theory, but also like be adventurous and try to surprise yourself, you know, like discover new things, like novelty and stuff like that.
When you write a song, when do you know that the song is ready to jump into production? Because I think that one thing that I see with a lot of the students that are present here and some other people that are not present, some of
Okay.
the issues that I find is that they never know when to jump into actually producing the song, right? So they write and write and write, but when do we actually jump into production? When would you say this song is ready for production?
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something you gotta feel comfortable. You know, you're expressing your music, your lyrics. So I guess it's gotta be something you feel represents you. So I guess that's really important. I mean, I'm always like a bit hesitant when I have songs, but I always have like a small crew of people, like two or three persons. I always show my music. So I always send music to them, and they're like, "Okay, I think this could be better. I think this sounds really good." I mean, I don't always listen to them, but I think it's valuable advice, and so I think that's a good that's something you have to do. Like like make up a small group of people you really trust, who you think are really objective and have like really good taste and I would say that that's something that really helps out. It helps me out because sometimes, you know, I have like dozens of songs, and I'm like, oh no, this sucks. But sometimes I show it to somebody, and they tell me, oh, I think it has lots of potential. So yeah, basically that.
You just released this new song of yours called Chocolate, and I first of all I loved it, and I heard like I listened to the song like because you do snippets of the songs,
Mhm.
and you're posting those on Instagram, and then I'm like, oh my God, when is he gonna actually drop it? Because I just want to hear it already. But I like the way that you're building that up because I go there and then it's not ready yet, and I go, okay, let's wait, and then I save it, and all that I feel like it really builds up into the expectation of when people actually listen to the full part of it. But going back to the songwriting, what's been your experience with this last song? I'm guessing that because of COVID, you couldn't really be in Mexico, and I know that you're working with people in Mexico. So, how is working remotely for you? And how do you think this is transforming and giving us all as music makers the opportunity to find other people that are not necessarily in our neighborhood, and then get together virtually and work on music?
Okay, so yeah, it's been interesting. Obviously, nobody was expecting this, so it's been a surprise for everybody. So yeah, initially I wanted to release the song in kind of April. Then this happened, and I thought it would end like maybe June or something, but apparently it's gonna take a while. So I didn't want to end the year without releasing a song. So yeah, it's been. I mean, I'm still like trying to figure out what's gonna happen. You know, because obviously everything's different. Like I'm not. I normally play a lot, at least once a week, but I haven't played since March. So obviously that's kind of different. You know, but yeah, it's been pretty weird. But it also gives us the possibility to work with people remotely, like you just said. And I have lots of friends, like really great musicians in the U.S. and Mexico. So I mean, we could just zoom it out, and we can actually produce like kind of remotely, you know. So it's been interesting trying to develop this kind of internet based style of working.
Very good. Very good. How what would you recommend for somebody starting into songwriting? What would be a discipline that you believe that might help them to actually get to what they want to do? Any, I don't know, like writing a song per day or writing 3 songs per day. A lot of people talk about that. In your experience, how do you do it? Do you keep like a stash of music that you say, okay, I'm gonna work on this later on? How does it work for you?
Yeah, so I guess discipline is key. Obviously, I might not be as disciplined in songwriting, but I like every day, even if work is pretty low, I always go to the studio and work on something, you know, or listen to music, or maybe I take the time to listen to a whole album because I know like people don't do that anymore. But yeah, I like I'm really disciplined.
Ask you about how important do you think it is to connect with people, and how do you do it? Because I feel like one of the main things we have to do as artists is to learn how to engage with an audience, to connect. How do you actually go from making music in your room, from writing something that you think of, and then actually putting that out into the world? And how do you actually make people like it? What do you think is your connection? What's the everyday thing that you do in order to create that interaction with your fan base?
Oh yeah, yeah. I just remembered. So yeah, so discipline is key. Like I always try to filter my songs. Like I have like a whole batch of songs, and I have like this kind of Excel where I put all my ideas. And I mean, sometimes I just have like a chorus or maybe like a verse or just an idea, and maybe I revisit the idea like a couple months later. And I mean, that's pretty. If I keep liking a song after a couple months, it means it means it's something I like, you know. So I always try to do that. I would also suggest like I know sometimes it happens that we tend to be, not everybody, but we tend to be a bit sensitive when we show our work, and maybe some people won't like it. And I mean, that's definitely going to happen. Some people won't like your music, but I guess you gotta get used to some people not liking your music, you know, and always be receptive to criticism. Some people can give you really good pointers, so always try to look out for people who can really give you like really good reviews, you know. So yeah, basically that. I think those features are really are key to developing yourself in the music industry. I would also say like music is what we sell, but I believe we also gotta, you know, all the social media stuff, marketing. I think as independent artists, it's really important to develop these kinds of skills because it's basically how we package our songs, you know. So people, I think people are really visual. I mean, some people are not that visual, but I guess most people are, you know. So I think music, uh, it's got to be attractive, like the sound, but like always like hooking this thing up with the visual stuff is really important, you know.
I personally seen that you're constantly engaging with your audience and posting and doing stories and I think that how much do you think because I see more and more with all these platforms now TikTok uh, how would you proportion or say that what's the percentage between actual music that you need to publish in order to deliver what you really want to deliver and how much is other stuff that maybe you just use in order to create this interaction that is constant with your audience?
Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of a debate, obviously, because I think the model for indie artists is like you got to drop a lot of singles, and obviously, like doing a well-recorded song takes a bit of time, you know. So I think it's like most artists like don't we don't really know like where it's headed, because obviously I would love to like release a song each week, but I take a whole lot of I take several months like finishing a song because I'm really focused on detail, you know. But I guess you gotta adapt to the new kind of wave, you know, like making songs faster. Obviously, not like always preserving quality, you know. So I guess that's key. But yeah, I think the social media is really important. I wouldn't say like you should I see most people that are only doing social media and they don't have any music and they're musicians, so that's kind of weird. But I would actually say like focus on the music and see the social media as something you can use to engage with your audience, you know, so you can enhance your product or your songs. Yeah.
I think that I mean I've known you as a friend for a very long time too, and I know that your natural personality is to be a little introvert, and
Yeah.
so it's very interesting to me how in this latest years you have been more open to talking to people and doing a bunch of things that somebody with your natural character and personality wouldn't actually do.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's been like weird because I always had like this really. I was craving to make music. It's something like I consider myself like a really kind of creative introvert. So playing music live for me at the beginning was really like I mean, I was so nervous. I was really anxious. I wasn't enjoying playing in front of people. So that was horrible for me at the beginning. But at the same time, like I was making lots of songs and I wanted to sing. So obviously, it was tough. But I mean, after you play again and you play again, I think you go like conquering your fears. And I guess nowadays I really enjoy playing live. It's something I just discovered like maybe the last 3 or 4 years. Like playing live with my band is like one of the best sensations I get.
And I think it was very interesting that you did like a symphonic, like you were playing your music with a different instrumentation. I think that was really
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That happened like maybe 2 years ago. Yeah.
Going back to releasing music and making music, what's the expectancy that you have every time you drop something? Because I feel like we got like we all go like, okay, I got this song and it's gonna be huge and it's amazing and oh my god, like everybody's gonna be listening to it nonstop and I'm gonna go viral and I'm gonna win a Grammy. Like, what's the real expectation that you get? And I feel more importantly, what are you looking for every time that you drop a song? Are you expecting to get more following on Instagram? Are you expecting
Yeah.
to get more plays on Spotify? Like, what matters to you the most?
So yeah, well, basically, I think my objective would be to connect with more people, right? Through my passion, which is music. Obviously, I mean, I love. I would do music if I was working on something else, you know. But my objective is to really like just live off music, which I've been doing for the last 4 years. Obviously, you always want to like you you always want to keep your ambition high, you know, so you can reach bigger goals. So yeah, that's I mean. Basically, I would say my objective would be I want to connect with more people, you know, and obviously I love it. Like me, I mean, sometimes people write me people that heard like when I was uploading songs on SoundCloud like 10 years ago, and I'm like, dude, I'm always been your fan. Your new music is cool, you know. So that's really motivating, like seeing people that they have been with you through all your journey, you know.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Why don't we jump to a second song and then we're gonna continue with the Q&A. Guys, any questions that you may have, just write them down in the chat and we're gonna integrate them here.
Okay.
Where are you gonna be playing for us, man?
I actually said I was playing another, but I think I just changed my mind.
Okay.
Okay.
How's this called?
It's called Te Fue Muy Sencillo.
All right.
Comenzamos desde pequeños. Me gustabas, pero nunca te lo dije. Tantos años transcurrieron. Te soñaba, para mí eras la razón de vivir. Hace tanto creo en el amor que me levanta en las mañanas y me espanto porque creo en el fantasma que me sigue hasta la cama. Yo creo que tengo que decirle, doy tantas gracias por tenerte, sé que contigo está mi suerte, yeah. Te fue muy sencillo, porque solo tú puedes levantarme de la muerte, yeah. Por más que trato, siempre muero en el intento. La verdad siempre saldrá a relucir. Ya no es tan sano ocultar mis sentimientos. Hay cosas que te debo decir. Hace tanto creo en el amor que me levanta en las mañanas y me espanto porque creo en el fantasma que me sigue hasta la cama. Yo creo que tengo que decirle, doy tantas gracias por tenerte, sé que contigo está mi suerte, yeah. Te fue muy sencillo, porque solo tú puedes levantarme de la muerte, yeah. Te fue muy sencillo, doy tantas gracias por tenerte, porque solo tú me entiendes. Te fue muy sencillo. Thanks.
All right, so we have some questions here. But before jumping into more questions, because I know that you guys are gonna keep on writing here. I would like one thing that I feel like it's very important when we discuss it when we do these events is how important it is to tell a story, right? And that story represents you. And sometimes as an artist, that's really what's going to back you up all the time. Because I mean, you can make all sorts of music, and going back to the transformation that I've seen in your music, I've seen going from doing one style into integrate and even like a kind of like a reggaeton beat to it, like a dembow beat into it.
Yeah,
So that means that it's not necessarily the style of music that's going to preserve and you're going to keep forever. But I feel like it's the story and the way that you tell the story that, in your case, keeps on being the same, which I think it's really interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about? Because I think, personally, I think it was very brave from you, and this is part of your real story, not only your artist story but your real story. You had a different career. You were
yeah,
into business, right? I think, and then
yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah.
fully into music. Um, but it took you a while to actually make that decision. I think that you went to Europe, you were in Paris for a while, and then you came back and did that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, like I cut my like my musical background. I have like my grandfather was a pianist here in my hometown. I have an aunt who's a really good painter. Like it's really like my family has like this really big creative side. And I remember like being a child and like really just connecting with music. Like I was so like I love singing, but I was really shy. That was the thing. So it took for me a while like to make like concrete steps towards music. So yeah, I basically like I finished high school. I started studying business, which was kind of just whatever. I mean, it was okay for me. I wasn't passionate about it, but I finished studying business, and at the end of my career, like I was so in love with the music that I wanted to pursue music. I like not just on a superficial level. Like I really wanted like to study music, but that was kind of a hard choice because obviously it's music. I think music is a really tough career anywhere, and obviously here it's kind of a bit more difficult. But yeah, but I went with my gut feeling, and I mean it's been a weird tough ride, but I think I've been like really honest and really, yeah, like I pursued music because I was really it gave meaning to me. My life had more meaning if I pursue music. So that's what I guess at the end what that's why I chose music.
That's great. Sorry, I had to mute my mic so it didn't shoot the camera to me. So I have a few questions here. The first one is from Prashant, and he's asking how many takes do you do for the vocal recording, and how do you determine that the recording is final? It does not require another version.
Okay, so the fun thing for me is that like the last years, like I have my own home studio, like I have a pretty good audio interface. I got a really good mic, so I can take as much as I want. It's not like if you go to a studio, you're like you have the time pressure, and like no, if you got to pay another hour, it's like the bill's gonna go super like way up. So I think that's the advantage we have with all this music technology nowadays. Like you could get a really really good quality recording back home, and you don't have the pressure like being in the studio with people. It stresses me out. Like I really love like just being alone. Like for me, like recording vocals is like a really intimate process. So I mean, I take as much as I have to. Like I just say like, okay, this is probably the best I will achieve. So I would say like, yeah, that like I don't feel the pressure because I record at home. So I would just suggest you choose the takes where you feel the most comfortable.
I feel
You
like
know, what type of microphone do you use, like in the condenser? Like what do you have? Like did you
I
went for uh
Okay, so I have an AKG 414. I think it's a large diaphragm. so I use that one for most of my vocals. Obviously, I want to buy more mics, but they're so expensive. But I mean, in the meantime, that's worked pretty well for me.
Again, was it at EKG 44? What was the number you
Oh,
mentioned?
yeah, it's a AKG for C414. So
For
yeah, you can find that like at Sweetwater and stuff. It's kind of like $800, maybe 900.
I think that it's important that I feel like a new how do you say this, a new breed of singers, of artists. It's being created now that we have the internet and that we have this and that we have the connection. And one thing that I keep on telling everybody is that you don't really need to go out and validate yourself to go to bars like it was before. I think that you can be very creative and doing small things from your studio, buying like a microphone. And one of the things that we do here, and I think that's the importance of what I'm trying to do with this project, is that everybody connects, because that's the part where we all get disencouraged. Like, oh, I don't want to keep on going because I don't have anybody to listen to.
Yeah.
When you find that group of people and then you start sharing, that's when it becomes more fun. And then it starts making sense. Okay, I'm going to buy a more expensive microphone. I'm going to buy an interface, etc. And now that we have this too, I feel like even a concert, like if you have a very good microphone, if you have a good keyboard, you can be basically, you have no boundaries to who you can reach with your music. So yeah.
Yeah, I would add to that. Like, I work a lot with like new artists, and I always tell them like, I mean, work with what you have. You know, like, I know. I mean, I love like, this is actually something new for me. Like gear and equipment and stuff. And I guess sometimes we get caught up in this, and we want to keep like buying like really expensive stuff. And I mean, if you have the money, go for it. But at the end, what adds value to your music is your creativity. You know, you don't need the most expensive mic to make a really good song, and you can have a really bad song with a really expensive mic. You know, so yeah, so just focus on the music, and if you get money later, then you can buy everything.
Beautiful. We're gonna frame that and I'm gonna put it on my wall. Next question we have is um, from Daniel Sokolov, and he's asking, when when you were starting to write lyrics, how did you improve? Any tips for someone newer to it to get better? Also, what influences do you draw from?
Okay, it's weird. I started off like when I was really young. Uh, I like I probably somebody broke my heart or something like that, and I and I started writing music. So yeah, it was kind of like this. I was searching, you know. Obviously, I remember like I wrote songs, and like I probably reviewed them a couple of years later, and I just like threw them all out. Like I hated them. They were so like kind of kind of fake. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it takes time. It takes discipline. I think you gotta. I always encourage people to find a unique style. You know, sometimes like people like they love imitating, and I mean that's okay. But if you want to be like a real true artist, you gotta find your own unique voice. You know, and not only like singing wise, you know, but the stories you tell. You gotta make them really personal. And you as an individual, like you are unique. So I would tell people like just try to be as unique as possible. And obviously it's a journey. Like I know Rodolfo, like he heard my songs when I just got to Mexico, and it's been like this journey, you know. So I always tell people like really be like curious, you know, and always be adventurous and take risks, you know, because artistic risks are like makes us feel like a bit vulnerable. But I mean, at the end, it's not like you're gonna die or something. So yeah. So just dip in, right? Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, my musical influences.
Yeah. What would be, what influence, not your musical influences, but what influences you to write? I guess that's the question, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, I've been pretty kind of kind of mellow grayish heartbreak kind of stuff. My first songs at least. But lately, like I think I've worked on a couple of songs that are headed towards different stuff, but they're pretty I wouldn't say romantic, but maybe a bit. The last like the single I just released like 2 weeks ago, it's called Chocolate, which is chocolate. So yeah, I'm trying like to navigate through this kind of sexy vibes, funky groovy stuff. So yeah, I'm like I want to discover this songwriting in this kind of new world.
Very nice, very nice. Prashant is asking another question. What DAW, SW you use for mixing and producing?
Okay, I use Logic. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I've been using Logic like probably like since forever.
Good. Now we have Julianne Post. She's asking, when did you first start writing songs?
I started right after high school. Yeah, I started like learning like the keys with this kind of professor at church. Yeah. So yeah, I started and at the beginning, like I was really focused on like just like playing songs, like really kind of boring, but like it kind of just sparked when I just wanted to like like discover new chords and just surprise myself in the keys. And I always had this urge and kind of just wanted to sing, so I started writing music probably when I was like 18, 19.
That's really interesting. I think it's really interesting because actually Julianne is a songwriting. She makes a lot of content, and she's 15, which I think is outstanding.
Okay,
Most
nice.
people here they want to do that and they want to follow that path. So just to start wrapping up, I don't know if anybody has more questions, but I think that I mean it's a we take it with great pride having you here because I mean you've gone through it all through all the stages of the musicianship, and I guess that doubts are something that happens a lot through your mind when you're making music. Like, is this even worth it to be doing this? Because it takes time and all of your attention and sometimes even resources. So what keeps you motivated into keep on staying on track?
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. I always like there's always comes a point where you just like, do I really want to keep on doing this? And yeah, obviously I've had those moments, but I mean I'm still in love with music, so I obviously keep on doing it because of that. And I mean it's like it's what drives me, what gives meaning to my life. So I guess it's really a kind of a personal path for each one of you. Like you'll probably have the same questions at a certain point in life, but I mean just go for it. Work. Yeah, you definitely got to work hard, but try to be smart as well, like I know some people like, yeah, just like work a lot and eventually things will happen. But I think it's a more it's smarter if you work like intelligently, like meet new people, try to find really good mentors, study music, learn your music theory, hear albums, hear the artists you love, and try to extract that and just search for your own unique career, yeah? Right?
Who is it that you're listening to right now that you really like, that you're kind of a new artist that you're listening to that you're trying to integrate into your music?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I keep on listening to all the artists I heard like back way. But yeah, I love like this whole new kind of neo soul, like Tom Mitch. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's really really good. There's a guy called Nick Hakim who lives in New York who has really good music as well. Jordan Rakai, I think he's from New Zealand. So it's kind of this kind of it's like a neo soul jazzy, like, but really modern. You know, it's not like it's like where the '90s, like Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, and all these guys left off. I think these guys are taking now the lead. You know.
I think that especially here, because everybody here is from the U.S. I think that in the U.S., well, except for Mr. Leo, who's in Australia, but I think that one of the things that we have here in the U.S. is that the culture is the mainstream culture is very strong, right? And sometimes that's like the only thing that we listen to, and then we tend to think that's the only thing there is. But it's
Okay.
so important to just explore other stuff and seeing that there's other types of music, and how we integrate that could actually enhance the process of music making by saying, okay, this might be a pop tune, but if I put this two and three elements here and mix them in a certain
Yeah.
way, it's gonna make it different, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty smart. Like just trying to expand your universe. You know, I mean, I obviously I love R&B and neo soul and all this stuff, but I sometimes I listen to jazz, I listen to Latin music, I listen to reggaeton. You know, I'm not like this kind of no everything sucks. I try to like really enjoy every type of music. You know. I also enjoy reading a lot, which also I think sparks my imagination when I write.
Very good, man. I think that nobody has asked anything yet, so I think that we're gonna let you go for today.
Okay. Okay.
But
Well,
would you like to share your social media with us? Anything, any news that you have, any future projects that you have in mind?
yeah, I know. Basically, I just released a song. You can hear it on my Spotify. You can find me as Chia Casanova in Instagram, and probably, I think I changed my name on Twitter, but yeah, Facebook and you know those things. And basically that, yeah. I hope you all like really keep on pursuing your music, and maybe like I've been wanting to visit Rodolfo, but it just hasn't happened. But probably I'll visit you in a couple when this thing is all over, you know. So yeah, maybe I can meet y'all.
That would be amazing. Actually, this program is all online, so most people here are not
Okay.
and we're gonna keep on doing these events. We got people from New York, Atlanta,
Okay.
some
Oh, okay.
from
Okay, I thought you were all based in the same city.
no, they're all over the
Okay.
place. From
Okay.
Texas,
Okay.
we got
Okay. 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 Okay.
Boston,
Okay.
we got Louisiana. I think that they're having a hurricane right now, but she's still here with us. And yeah, so the idea is to keep on expanding, and having people like you has had the the journey, and that's still in the journey. And I think that's very important to keep everybody inspired, because at the end of the day, our main job as musicians is to inspire others. So
Yeah,
the fact
that's
that you're here and just lighting that spark, I really hope that we can have you again, and it would be lovely to for you to meet with
yeah.
us.
Yeah, count me in.
All right.
So yeah, like good luck to every one of you, and thanks for inviting me, dude.
All right. No, 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 man. This is your house. We hope to have you more often here.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Take
guys.
care, everybody.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you so
Nice.
much.
we're gonna stay for the jam. Whoever wants to stay, let's get it started. All right, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Chia, and we'll
Thanks.
stay in touch, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.